Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you're serious about the digital asset space, and let's get right into it today. One take and uncut. Wanted to make a quick video as we go into this evening for all of you guys and just do kind of a short and sweet update. So as we can see here, top 16 cryptocurrency glossary terms. This is made by Status. As we can see here, definite follow on Twitter. Website is stedas.hr. Great infographics to learn about XRP for all of you newcomers to get, up to date with all of this jargon. So we appreciate you, sir. Now, this was actually shared by Eric Naylor, and I just wanted to talk about this. So this is the International Monetary Fund's current director. This is Kristalina Georgieva, the managing director of the IMF. Now, notice we do have connections in various consultant, a history of consultant type of roles for the BIS, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, all with Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, David Schwartz, meeting with the Trump administration back in, 2018, things of that nature, a lot of dots to connect. And yes, there's going to be speculative thoughts when you're investing into a speculative asset. Those that speculate correctly stand to make a lot of money or save a lot of money. Now, I want to talk about this. She's actually saying debt cancellation may be necessary. This is no longer a conspiracy like we were sharing in the past. I know there's talks about gold standard. I personally believe, it may be fractionally backed with the US dollar after the petrodollar status dies. Potentially, we'll have new backing, whether it is from the energy sector and commodities like oil or even gold and things of that nature. Central banks have been accumulating more gold at historical levels. Now, what's interesting, I'm going to play this clip. She talks about debt cancellation, and she also talks about the lack of liquidity, money drying up. We need these sources and revenue streams to move better than ever, especially during this type of crisis. No thanks to COVID. She even talks about potentially, kind of stopping the economy so they can get everything evened out. And remember, XRP is the oil to allow the financial engine to function. It is the lifeblood, often said. It is literally called this, the lifeblood of kind of the, financial markets. So essentially, we're allowing crypto assets, no longer just called cryptocurrencies, but are called crypto assets by these regulatory authorities. Whether it's, the Bank of England and other central banks, whether it's the SEC, even the CFTC, the whole narrative is changing in front of our eyes. And they are talking about, digital wallets, real-time payments with all banks being interconnected. This is happening, and we are truly, truly, truly living throughout history. Whether you believe XRP will play a role, that's up to you. Do your own research, but I've done years of research in what I believe. And could there be a little confirmation bias? Absolutely. I try to look at both sides, but I've never been more sure, at least with my own decision, in anything. So listen to this clip.
This is really a crisis like no other. First, because it is a combination of pandemic and economic crisis in which to fight the pandemic, we have to stop the economy. And at the time when you need more revenues for your health systems and to help workers and firms, you actually have less. And that leads to very massive action to keep.
And keep in mind, there's estimates anywhere. I know the value has changed. Now they're saying it's only 2 to 5 trillion. But formerly, even Miguel Valles has been quoted to say roughly $27 trillion is parked in these pre-funded accounts around the globe due to the correspondent banking network being so out of date and archaic with its legacy technology built 40 years ago, pre-digital, pre-internet era. So think about freeing that capital, creating additional revenue streams, just like MoneyGram is doing with their treasury functions today. The second largest money service business in the world, competitor to Western Union.
The economy virtually on life support, fiscal action, monetary policy action. Very, very unusual, never happened before.
See, we are in uncharted territory, still learning English, but this is what I wanted to emphasize, guys. There is more need for this type of use case, cross-border international payments and updates, monetary policy, fiscal laws, things of this nature are all coming and are here. So that is why I'm excited to be in this space right now. Yes, metals, cryptos, stocks, all relatively at all-time lows. Granted, the stock market is going back up due to the unlimited amount of printing, of quantitative easing that the Federal Reserve is doing. But again, this is 2008 on repeats, plus many, many, many more variables. We're at a very sensitive time, and this is where the money can potentially be made. All right. And this is why I'm bullish, but I encourage you guys to question everything. There's a lot of, hype out there. Maybe I'm a part of it, but I am truly sharing my sentiment, and I'm not trying to offend you. I want you guys to question everything, but I can't help it. Yes, there's emotion in my voice because I'm excited. I've been looking at this research day in and day out for several years. All right, right here, XRP Crypto Wolf, guys, definite follow. Check this out. So we have Japanese STOs. These are security token offerings association, which consists of not only SBI, which owns obviously a huge stake in Ripple, and also R3, the two consortiums that kind of want to blend and adopt XRP usage, thanks to Yoshitaka Kitao, talking about R3 doing high value transfers, Ripple doing the low value, both high volume, and kind of complementing each other in that regard. And this is where XRP could potentially dominate the market as that bridge asset. Then we have Rakuten, I'm sorry if I butcher that, Securities Group again. We have Nomura Securities and Monex. So these are issued new regulatory guidelines, and this is interesting. This is about taxation, and this is even about airdrops. So check this out. The JSTO, Japan Security Token Offering Association, released new guidelines to protect clients' crypto assets and privacy. So as we take a look into this briefly, we can see they're talking about, obviously, STOs being a huge thing. I actually want to, before I dabble, I'll stay here first. Basically, I just want to talk about these new laws that are being enforced. And then, of course, this is helping push crypto regulatory enforcement as well that is on the way. Everything will be tokenized. It is simply a matter of time. R3 talks about asset fractionalization, whether it is securities and commercial real estate and equities in the entire stock market, metals, you name it. It's all going digital at one point or another to create this level playing field that we've heard so much about in type of financial inclusion, bridging ledgers together in mobile networks, banking networks, corporate ledgers, things of that nature, guys, to basically create a world of trust where today we are in a world of mistrust. All right. So again, just talking about new guidelines for this, how to separate customer assets and electronic record transfer rights. There's a bunch of regulation to, be done. But again, this has been going on for years. So I just wanted to share that. New guidelines on the way. Now, Securitize, Coinbase, and Ripple have invested in them. They're absolutely fascinating, a very, very cool platform. Again, the securities market is roughly $7 trillion alone. And they are, the world's leading issuers of digital securities. Trust the Securitize platform. They can tokenize assets, as we can see here. They've tokenized venture funds, equity and operating businesses, revenue streams, and real estate. All right, I've been saying this in a lot of videos, but I just want to emphasize commercial real estate will be the first to be tokenized. Residential is a little more complicated. But just imagine with the Internet of Value being able to invest into a real estate portfolio with the click of a button online, getting validated with KYC and AML immediately. All right, so we can see various things right here. It's proven full stack technology solution for digital securities. It is just very, very exciting. And you know who did a good video was Thinking Crypto on YouTube. And he did share, I believe it was this specific video, issuing a security token on the Tezos blockchain. Again, another cryptocurrency. I'm always watching. Do your own research, but the ticker is XTZ. You can also stake it on Binance US and Coinbase. Those links are in the description as always, and using the Securitize platform to literally issue tokens with a few clicks of the button. This is the future, guys. Efficiency and just, ease of use and rollout, guys. This is no longer a hardware world. For any of you that are familiar with SD-WAN technology, kind of the same thing. I could do a lot of analogies with that. All right, right here, Matthew, Liny, sharing this. I thought this was really cool, and I do have to dig into this more, but we can see bilateral settlement mechanics for commodities. So we see R3, their core to blockchain, of course, which XRP is the only digital asset to be named thus far that will be used to settle and can settle. And we see with AWS, so this is Amazon Web Services. Now, really quick, I just want to give you a better idea of this Guild 1 group. They are partnered with Amazon Web Services and R3. In 2018, they conducted the first blockchain oil and gas royalty transaction. So this is called EBX on Energy Block Exchange. It's blockchain business network for energy transactions. Now, with times of such uncertainty with the price of oil, this is something I'm very, very interested in. I know we talk about gold all the time, but the energy sector will be massive as well to derive value and hopefully back maybe the future economy or these central bank digital currencies. I don't think that the US dollar essentially is going to be backed by thin air in the future, at least in my lifetime. All right, so as we can see here, a few things that he shared and dug into, which we appreciate. We can see AWS partner story, Guild 1 and R3. As we can see here, talking about this proof of concept, 3 weeks of orchestration, coordination between the parties, about 30 seconds, this whole, transaction was done. Very, very cool. And notice ATB Financial, another group we've seen also run proof of concepts with XRP settling bank payments, guys. They're all connected. Now, whether it's Ripple or R3, I don't care. I just want the XRP ecosystem to grow. Cross-border payments and settlement will be one of the key markets, but don't get me started on DeFi and even collateralized loans that are being built off of not only Bitcoin and Ethereum, but XRP as well. Escrowing them and locking them up. There's various platforms that are being built today to keep an eye on. What is it? I'm blanking. Nexo, and Kava Labs. All kinds of great groups that I'm continuing to look into, waiting for regulation, but I don't think I'm going to really look into them seriously until XRP is at a much higher price. So, negotiating the contract, consensus within a few minutes. I mean, it's just highly, highly efficient, guys. Confirming the money arrived. They'd be confident in the success of the transaction of the ledger. You can see ledger funded. Production, issue payment, redeemed from the ledger, all kinds of documentation just kind of showing this, and then even just showing the smart contract capabilities, the process of, creating this, etc. And then even on R3's website, which I was just looking into, seeing Guild One's president and CEO, this is James Graham. Again, feel free to, do your own deep dives and look further into this. But again, we can see discussing their partnership with R3 and why we chose Corda as the platform to develop our energy block exchange network, EBX. We're going to hear more of them. I can guarantee it. Remember, R3 is the world of trade finance. This is the big boy money. This is institutional based. Perhaps you guys like Stellar more. I personally do not like the technology, but I think that XRP will be for institutional, investors, the world of trade finance and interbank settlements. I don't think it's threatened by interbank networks or finality token, that utility settlement token, or even JPM coin, or even Facebook's Libra. I am not intimidated and I'm not threatened by them. I've done various videos and explained why. So again, very, very interesting. Just a 4-minute video if you guys want to look into it. I was watching it earlier. And then lastly, just to finish this off, so again, we're just talking about STO, security tokenized offerings. That regulation is pushing crypto asset regulation. It's all happening. Singapore is a hotbed for financial technology firms, cryptocurrency. We know with all the current, regulations and kind of the standstill of liquidity today, Ripple is one of the firms that can operate as well without paying additional fees to operate there. I believe, I'm not sure if we have an office in Singapore. I believe we do. But again, owning offices is pretty expensive. But essentially what I wanted to talk about here in this is Singapore's tax authority has a new e-tax guidance for 3 crypto types. So security tokens, utility tokens, and payment tokens. My belief with XRP, it will never be considered a security token. Will there be fearful articles and drama spread about it? Absolutely. I anticipate that before, price goes up. They want everybody out, get all of the, typical people to sell through fear and propaganda. But I believe if XRP is ever classified, it will be classified as some type of commodity or settlement utility exchange token. I just do not see security being a part of it due to the regulations with on-demand liquidity and anything like that for these groups to truly adopt it at the level that we have. They are seeded by some of the biggest groups. I mean, what is it? Andreessen Horowitz. And sorry if I butchered that. Google Ventures. We have some of the biggest names in the game, and it all stems also from BlackRock and Vanguard, the 2 behemoths of this world. All right, even FIS with Fidelity, they are highly, highly connected. We've talked about them, and I'll talk about them in the future as well. But each cryptocurrency type has a new definition and a different corresponding tax treatment from Singapore's tax authority. Now, I read this article, and I wanted to actually share one part I highlighted. So again, they're not going to take a cut of airdropped cryptocurrencies as long as the recipient gets it for free, according to an income tax treatment guide published Friday. And this is by the IRAS in Singapore. This is the Inland Revenue Authority of Singapore with their new tax guidelines. Now, I'm hoping since they're doing this in Asia, this will actually push adoption and regulation through the rest of the world, not only Europe, but also here in the United States. This is interesting too, though, where they don't really have clarity. Where things get tricky is determining the tax burden of a good or service with the value natively represented in cryptocurrency. A contractor who agrees to do a job for, say, 3 Bitcoins, for example, has no surefire way to calculate his tax because the IRAS has no methodology to value payment tokens. So this ambiguity currently scares a lot of investors. Now, potentially, this is the time to invest. Not financial advice. Always do your own research. I'm only sharing you with what I'm doing. I do diversify. I wish that, all cryptocurrencies survive. But personally, I think that there's going to be a smaller number that survive, and those will be the ones that are solving real problems for real customers. XRP, I think, will absolutely be involved in, solving the payments problem compared to Bitcoin. Will Bitcoin survive as a, store of value? Perhaps, and I wish it luck, and I'm not worried about it. I'm looking at the institutional money, growing value via adoption. All right, we're going to see and hopefully see more news about this. Again, highly recommended. I know Thinking Crypto did share this, but issuing a security token on the Tezos blockchain, watching Tezos, watching Link, watching VeChain, watching Cardano. These types of assets have my attention, and the competition is good. It's going to drive innovation. Again, just like with Tesla creating their electric cars, now we have Ford also doing it, and it's going to push them to be better, and we need competition to incentivize innovation. I'm not intimidated by that. I think that it's going to drive further adoption faster. Whether it's 5% market share or 100% market share, we are so early at this point that it personally does not matter. I wholeheartedly see an upside. I know, regardless of everything, XRP is easily meant to be over $1. It is not a stable coin. We've heard this time and time again, why a high value suits their needs long term. I've shared so much information on NTT data, going over this, the plans within plans. We can even see issuing and managing digital securities on Algorand. Again, with Algo, all these types of security tokens will, serve a real purpose. There's so much going on. And I know this isn't necessarily related to cross-border payments, but I just want to push the point across that Securitize, guys, is all about tokenizing assets. And when these assets, any asset, not just fiat and money and CBDCs, I'm saying any asset is tokenized, it still needs a bridge asset and a payment path to get there. And it's my belief that Interledger Protocol and XRP will play a huge role in being the backbone for this type of, financial trade in the future. And I encourage you guys to do your own research. I encourage you, if you find something that could be a competitor or solve the problem better than XRP and the XRP ledger that have been around, we're coming up on nearly a decade at this point. I just think that they have a very, very high probability for success. And the longer that we're at this low price, I don't think they're trying to go slowly and surely. I think they're waiting to get 100% market dominance connected and then flip the switch. And that is where utility comes in the blink of an eye. Now, not financial advice. Do your own research, guys. Take responsibility for your own research. Do not rely on anybody. I just want to basically incentivize thinking. Too many people want to be told what to do, and I know I'm telling you guys what to do. I'm a walking paradox, but I just want to incentivize you guys and hopefully inspire you to keep going and digging. All right? Anything is possible. Again, guys, I appreciate you all as always. Be sure to like this, hit the like button, whatever they say. Share this video around, and I will see you in the next video.